5, 4, 3. Oh, we're already live. Fuck it. So, how to get through a breakup? Any ideas? Yesterday, I had someone on the live stream, and it was really cool because yesterday I did a different time frame, and I had a completely different group on the live stream. I've had some regulars, and yesterday, like I said, so one person was like, "How do you get through a breakup besides the usual things?" And I think the usual things would be no contact, which we hear every breakup coach say, and I stand behind for the most part in a lot of cases. Exercise, which comes up a lot. I think I was looking at someone else's channel a week or 2 weeks ago, and this guy leads up to, um, do this, do that. And he's like, well, one thing, what's up, Ozzy? One thing you really have to do when you break up is make sure you get some exercise. And cheers, bud. Thanks for the like. One thing you really have to do is exercise. And I tell people that all the time. No contact and exercise are probably the most common things recommended. And if you're complaining about those as recommendations, you're probably fighting the idea of doing them. But it leads me to this topic today is how to get through a breakup. Any ideas? If there's anything creative or anything different. And I've done videos about this before about cheers. Thanks for the like. I've done videos about this before about different ways, and I've done it off the cuff, and I could give you a link to that video, but I forgot the titles. So we'll just do it today in a live stream and see if anyone else has some things to shed light. And I took some notes this morning when I was having coffee of things I thought were good, and I've put them in the side notes here before I started this live stream. And basically, just to give you some ideas outside of just exercise and no contact, how to get through this thing and come out the other end a better person and possibly a better partner for someone else in the future. So, ways to move forward from a breakup. Hey, Coach, been a while. BG, Singapore's finest. What's up, buddy? Probably because we're in a different time zone now, right? So it's usually my times probably when I'm in Thailand are more favorable to you then. But today it's Sunday morning, 10:30 p.m. in California. Yeah, it is the time, sir. So, Ping Cali, head work. What's going on, my friend? How's the band? So, the topic today, if anyone wants to chime in, I'll probably get through I wrote down like 26 different things to get through a breakup, and different ideas that people might not be following. People that have seen my channel or watched a lot of my videos might have heard these things before. But if you have something that you think isn't a common thing that helps people, let's bring this on. Let's get it on. If you have some things out there that helped you as an individual get through your breakup or are currently helping you, that are kind of outside the box things, besides no contact and exercise, which is preached 10 times over, right? But they do work. Feel free to share, or if you guys have any other cheers, thanks for the like. If you have anything else to mention or you have any other questions, throw them down in the live stream. We've already started out good with 7 people. This is nice. Little Sunday morning. So ways to move forward from a breakup. What's the first step? My first step in my book is to write out your story completely, and not necessarily just get it to me. Write out your story completely within, an hour, 2 hours, a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, and really get into it about what happened, what was your role, what are you accountable for, and then share that story with someone whose opinion you respect and get their feedback. If that's me, if that's someone else, if that's a relative, go for it. But don't go to someone that you don't really respect who they are or what they are about in their own relationships. So that would be the first step, to get really clear and really sit down on what happened and why, and be honest with yourself. Be really honest. So, for example, if your ex said something that was really hurtful to you about your appearance or something like that, do you agree with that, or do you just think they were throwing stones? Write your complete story out. Okay, so these are some random suggestions. Move away. Some people, I could never move away. That's probably the quickest way. A lot of people think a rebound relationship, but moving away into a new environment, I talk about this a lot, whether that's a city away or that's a state away or that's another country, that will spark you into change quicker than anything else. And everything about your life is going to go through change when you move. Change your routine. I've talked about this before. Change what you're doing every day. Change some of the habit. If you have a habit that you like to do every day, like head work, you're in a band and you like writing music or doing music, do it in a different atmosphere. Do it at a different place with a different group. Go on a social media fast. So everyone goes, oh, I can't unfriend my partner. I can't unfriend my ex. Well, just go off social media just for you for 1 month, 2 months, just to see what it's like. Do charity work. I've suggested this to people that are obsessed with their ex or obsessed with what's going on in their own life. This is probably the best thing to do outside of moving away. Do immediate and charity work. You have a choice, right? You don't have to do something you don't want to do. That's the beauty of it. You're volunteering your time to do something you believe in that you feel good about. And there's no regrets in charity work. You're never going to go home and go, oh, I wish I would have never helped those people out at the soup kitchen. That was really stupid. You can't lose there. And the people are usually supportive. Be nice to strangers. This sounds really random, but if you go to the coffee shop, make sure you say thank you. Give the person a compliment. Be kind. Even if it's hard to do, they'll be kind back to you, and it just improves your day. Little things, small victories. Stop watching the news. A guy that watched one of my videos, and I had mentioned this, he's like, man, I was watching the news all the time. He goes, I took that as a suggestion. He goes, I stopped watching the news for 3 weeks and he goes, it made a difference. He goes, I was caught up in all this crap that had nothing to do with me and I wasn't taking a stand on, and it was just taking energy away from me. I don't really watch the news. I watch sports, but take inventory on your current top 5 values. Are they congruent with your goals? This is a kind of a big one. Ask yourself, what are my top 5 values? Write the first 5 things that come up and see where you stand on that, and see if you're unhappy with kind of some of the things that you value. So let's see, I've been going on. I have a message to all men. Dun, dun, dun. Never tell your female partner about the likes of Corey or Mac. You are in deep trouble after that. Once they start watching those vids in the bath, game over. I don't know. Jessica, how you doing? Listen to your stories, coach. A lot of people, like I said, when I started doing these live streams, I had people contact me and go, please get back to your stories, because I kind of fell off a little bit. I started just concentrating on the live streams, and I get stories that come in. I started sharing them again. I just posted, I think, 3 or 4 yesterday, and 2 or 3. What had happened, people were writing their stories in, and sometimes you get these people that don't take the proper time to write out a coherent story, and it's really hard to make sense of it. So I got a little burnt on them for a little bit, but I'm back on deck with them. And I think they're extremely helpful to people because they're real stories. Isadora Jovi. I haven't seen you on the show before. I would remember that name. Travel, good one. Plain and simple, because like I said, we're the main thing that someone told me in the live stream, I don't know, a couple live streams back, was like, I'm fucking sick of hearing that, go exercise. And I'm like, have you been exercising? I never watched TV. Have not watched TV for 11 years. Well, good for you, man. Don't get into Netflix then. I mean, that's highly addicted. You're doing great. Good. Happy for you, man. Small victories, things turn around. Momentum's a big thing, man. Momentum's big when you're in a breakup. You can switch momentum. Any other suggestions out there that are outside the box, possibly for people going through a breakup? So Isadora, thanks for, travel. That could be a lot of different things. And I think if you're going to unpack the travel thing, a lot of people say, oh, I don't have the money right now. I can't take the time off. Well, then save up for it. Get resourceful. Okay. A lot of times that's part of being in a solution base when you're in a breakup is, I can't do that. Why can't you do that? Well, if you thought about all the things you could do to make that happen, you probably will find a way. Thanks for the like. Avoid alcohol after a breakup. I agree. I can't say I've always done that, if I'm going to be frank. But I don't think it helps, because you get back to ground zero real quick in the morning, right? You wake up in the morning and you go, oh shit, back to reality, and I have a headache and I don't feel good. So any of those things, I don't think it's a good time to avoid those kinds of things. If you're going to go out with your buddies and have a few beers, or go out with friends and enjoy some time, and you have a good time that night, it will hit you the next day when you're not feeling well. because everything compounds, right? We tend to layer things, as I say. And so for me, if you don't feel well the next day and have a hangover or headache, you feel 5 times worse when you're in the middle of a breakup, right? Because that's one of the best things. If you're sick or you have a breakup, or I mean, sorry, if you're sick or you have a hangover, that's when it's really nice when you have a girlfriend that's like, oh, here, let me get you water, or let me get you some medicine, or let me help you out. So it's when I've been sick before and I've been in a breakup, I'm like, oh, this is when I really enjoyed having my girlfriend around. See other people experiment and remind yourself you've still got it. See other people experiment, remind yourself you've still got it. Okay, good one, Jessica. What do you mean by see other people experiment and remind yourself you've still got it? So, what do you mean by see other people? Elaborate a little bit. Me either. For me, I do everything I can to pretend my ex is just dead and gone. Well, that's deep, bud. I think that that's going to be tough to do, James. I respect your opinion most of the time. I think that I don't know if that's going to serve you because, first of all, subconsciously, you know it's not true. So you're going to be fighting that. I don't know if you were just trying to be sarcastic, but if that's true, um, that'd be tough to do. Anyone else want to, you know, I don't know if you were trying to be sarcastic, but like I said, the idea that you're pretending about something, I think your mind will resist that a little bit. Edward, dehydration sucks. In England, we call it hair of the dog. Back into the same cycle. I've heard that term, hair of the dog. We definitely don't use that here. And keep super busy. I agree, Jessica. Keep busy. I've had an amazing week. It's my first week of no contact. He still hasn't contacted Mac, but I'm happier without him now. Well, there'll probably be a moment, and I'm not trying to bring you down, where you're going to miss them, and there's going to be a moment where you want to call them and then revert back to that busyness, if you will, or your purpose or things you're doing well. Because I remember there was times when I was going through it and that bad breakup I had where I was like, wow, I'm feeling really good. Everything's going really good. Like I'm back on deck. And then like all of a sudden, it's like something happens, something triggers it, and you're like, oh shit. That's why you got to regroup, go for a run, do whatever makes you who you are and gets you back on deck. I did this when I was younger. Get a rebound hurl friend. You mean rebound girlfriend? A rebound is something that can work. Like I've told people before, rebounds can turn into long-term relationships. They aren't necessarily the worst thing, but they also can work against you because you sometimes, you're just putting a Band-Aid over a wound that probably needs more than a Band-Aid. That being said, it can work out. It does make you feel better to fill that time with someone else. Absolutely. So I'm not anti you getting with quote unquote a rebound, but there are consequences to it. Stay away from there. And especially if you have good judgment, if you have pretty good judgment and you've had pretty good girlfriends in the past and you have a pretty good value system, well then, the rebound that you get into, as long as you're not conflicting with who you are and what you're about, you're not going out with someone that you'd never go out with before just to fill a void. You actually met someone you're interested in. Or, if you're in a position where you work somewhere, you're pretty active, you're pretty happy with who you are, and there's been someone because let's face it, when you're in a relationship, there are other people you work with or you're around, maybe it's just me, that you're like, yeah, if I was single, I'd definitely date her or I'd go out with her. I'd be interested. And then when you break up, you kind of go, oh shit, you're so sad. You can just think about your ex. But if you're in a really good place, that's a time when that person that you've known for a little while, you're not going to jump into something with them, but you can show a little bit of interest, maybe go out to lunch, do something. I wouldn't say the week of the breakup, but down the road. Stay away from their social media too, because that's at what point knowing what they're up to. I think that's huge. I think that's paramount in 2019 and 21st century to stay off social media because it just leads to too many open loops and craziness and assumptions. And it really hurts people a lot of times. And that's why instead of saying that you're going to block them, which for some reason really upsets people, they think it's a really bad thing to block someone. I don't think it's that big a deal, but I have friends that are tough dudes in their 40s that are like, she blocked me and really upset. I'm like, what the hell is that a big deal about? But some people take it personally. So just go on a social media fast for you. As in you're just going to be on social media for a month. So you need a finish line or for 2 months and just see what it's like. Has nothing to do with your ex. It's more about just seeing, hey, Without these kind of venues and these kinds of things, am I going to be okay? And actually, I don't know if I should be saying that because they say YouTube's a form of social media because you can make comments and do things like this. I don't think that's YouTube's the form that really gets people caught up with their following their exes and what they're up to. It's more just accepting from day one that the old relationship is dead and never coming back. If it rises again from the ashes, that's fine, but you can't move forward if you don't accept it's over. Well, that's true. Nice way to reframe it, James. Okay. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. If that's the way you need to frame it, fine. I would just think the word dead's extreme. But every word means something different to everyone. Thing is, Jess, in some towns, it's really not easy to find new friends. As you get older, it becomes more difficult. Well, that's a mindset, head work. That's a generalization, and that's going to be absolutely true if you believe it to be true. So, if some towns it's really not easy to find new friends. Where's your power? Change towns, move to a new town. Is that possible? Are you cemented in that town you live in? Is that a good question? I'm sure you're gonna have a response, Edward. I do think about him all the time, but reminding myself that we didn't have the same feelings for each other just brings me back to reality. It reminds me there's no point in hoping for anything. Fair play. Don't get into a rebound. It shows low self-esteem and that you can't bear to be alone. I'm not anti rebound because I've seen people they've worked out. If you're in a good place as an individual coming out of a breakup, sometimes people this is the thing when I talk to people, sometimes they have a lot of other things on deck for themselves that are in place. Like they have a good job, they're happy with their family members, they're happy with who they are. There's a lot of things going for them so that for them to get into a new relationship isn't that bad, right? Now, if people are in a place where they really aren't happy with themselves, that's a time to really take that time to work on yourself and get happy with yourself before you get in a new relationship because you're going to sabotage the next relationship. But if you're in a place where you overall have a lot of the other buckets filled, you can transition into a new relationship, dare I say, pretty quickly. If it doesn't work out, you have the mindset and the self-confidence in yourself to know that this isn't the place. You never really forget people you loved. Good statement. I would agree. I would agree. Don't get into okay, sorry. Going into a rebound is cruel because you haven't dealt with your emotional baggage from the old relationship and you're going to bring it into the new relationship. So to take that a step further, um, it depends on the situation, on the individual breakup and the individuals in the breakup. I wouldn't just be anti a rebound and whatever that definition of what a rebound is different for people. If you do not have a car, you are unemployed, you are an alcoholic and not well, you might as well put your body off the market. If you do not have a car, you are unemployed, you are an alcoholic and not well, you might as well pull your are you talking about yourself, Edward? Yeah, like if you have those kinds of problems, and you know what? It's funny you say that because there's people I've talked to that don't have a car or are unemployed. Usually people don't admit that they have a problem with alcohol in my experience. They usually admit that they had a problem with alcohol and they've overcome it because they're proud of it. In my experience, I'm sure they're out there. But yeah, those are the kinds of things that if you get into a rebound situation and you're unemployed and you're an alcoholic, it's probably not going to be the best partner. It's probably not going to work out. If you got all those things lined up and you're doing really well, I'm still on social media, but I'm so determined and I managed to not look at his stuff. It's going well so far. Okay. Keep me posted on that. Alejandro Rodriguez, hey coach, every time I think of my ex, I think how bad she treated the relationship and not wanting to work it out. I go for long walks, listen to your live stream, and do push-ups when I think of her. I did a lot of running. I've talked about that before. Jogging. I never liked jogging before. I've always exercised. I've always been in pretty good shape, and I just listened to music and went on long runs. I really enjoyed it. And I went to a park. I went by the bay. I went somewhere scenic, and I would just go forever. And I'd come back and I'd be exhausted and I'd feel better. But push-ups work. Listening to the live streams hopefully work. Appreciate the little plug there, Alejandro. My chest is sore just saying it. That was just when I was dating 20-something ladies. It was easy to rebound until you find the lady you like. In your early 20s, yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that'd be more easy. I'm just not knocking the fact if someone goes into a new relationship, it definitely has its pitfalls. It depends on the individual and where they're at in life. People can pivot quickly, and it depends on where your judgment and who you feel about yourself as an individual. If you're coming out of like a 5-year relationship, then I think you need some time because that's some smoke that really has to clear. How much time is up to the individual. But let's say you were in a 5-year relationship. Let me just throw this out there. If you're in a 5-year relationship and the relationship was mostly good, you have a pretty good job, you have a pretty good health, you're pretty happy with who you are. The relationship the last 6 months to a year has been really bad, so you knew the breakup was coming. You work with someone or you have a mutual friend that you've always kind of had an eye for. They're currently single. You break up. Would that be considered a rebound if you start dating that person and say the first month or second month of being out of the relationship of a 5-year? A lot of people would say it was a rebound, but it's not someone you didn't know. So you see how the circumstances can be different? And what I'm saying is if that person has everything lined up, they knew the breakup, because sometimes people I've talked to that have been in long-term relationships, I think Jessica might have mentioned this too. The longer you're together, when you break up, a lot of times you're like, I knew this was over a year ago, or I knew this, this was carrying on. So the breakup was kind of a relief. See how it's always different? That's why it's really hard to put rules to the situation. I always just go back to making music. Well, isn't that a musician's answer? Good for you. That said, Alejandro, when your ex was the nice one, and it turns out that you are the one that sucks, so to speak, it's time to only work on yourself. And for some of that, it's really hard. Well, if your ex says something about you that pertains to you sucking or being bad at something or being a lazy ass or being non-ambitious or you know you're ugly, I don't know, whatever they say, at a certain point, do you believe it to be true? It could be fuel or it could be fire. It could be, you know what I mean? Like if someone says something about you and you don't believe it's true, it's like you could say fuck you. You could say, you know what, I'm going to prove them wrong. Or you could say, doesn't bother me. It's like water on a duck's back because it's just not true. If someone called me a chair, I'd be like, what are you, fucking nuts? I'm not a chair, right? Do you understand? So when someone says something about you, do you believe it or not believe it? Is it true or not true? Do you have to take some? You have to take some inventory and go, wait a minute. Yeah, she's kind of right. I kind of did fall off. It's like these people that I've had that say that they broke up because they played too many video games. I'm like, your problem might not be video games. The problem is that your girlfriend doesn't like video games. Maybe another girl would appreciate the fact that you play video games. Let's see here. I spend most of my day helping out my brother's girlfriend with her troubles with him. How sad. That's an awkward triangle, dude. I don't know if your brother's gonna like that head work. And what are your intentions in that? That can turn into something. I don't know if you're being sarcastic, but um, careful with that, dude. I think having hope. You don't want to get involved in your siblings' relationships too deep. They'll turn you into the enemy. I think having hope for reconciliation is the biggest thing holding people back from getting over the breakup. Yeah, well, I come back to trying, hoping, wishing. Um, really puts you in a holding zone, and it impedes you moving forward. It impedes you meeting someone else. It impedes your progress because you're sitting and waiting for something. It's a paradox. You can't reconcile until you completely sever the emotional bond. Well put, James. I get extra happy from interacting with as many people as I can. I compliment people. I start conversations with whoever I can. I help friends. It makes a huge difference. Well, yeah, and people respond to that, and it's an energy based thing. Um, and you don't have to be fake. Be genuine. Small compliments are nice. Sometimes people are like, "Well, what do you mean? I got to act this." No, you don't have to act this way. You go into a coffee shop, you get a coffee. You're polite. You're kind. You give the person maybe a compliment. You say thank you. Just little small things like that. You say, "Hey, no, that's a really nice watch you're wearing. That's beautiful." if you like to watch. And for me, dealing with all the good memories is difficult. Maybe you have to just compartmentalize those memories for what they are, the past, and you can't go back. Yeah, Mac, it was fixed. It was mixed feelings, but it's a huge relief because I can finally move on now. Good, good. Gotta live in the present, James. Pain only exists in the past and the future. And there is a book about that, the time paradox, James. And some of us, and myself included, probably why I have a good memories. Some people are more stuck in the past. Some people are present moment people, and some people are future based. And they said that people that tend to go to the past tend to be more depressed or sad. I'm not saying you. They tend to have more regrets. Present based people tend to it's present based tends to be ideal, but most of us go back to our memories to make decisions now, so that's natural. But the time paradox talks about people that are future based tend to be goal oriented, and they tend to have more anxiety about the future. It's pretty interesting. The time paradox. I forgot who wrote it. Um, Very interesting. And I would say overall, I'd say I'd probably look towards the past more than the future. I'd rather be more present moment. I do my best with that, and that's the beauty of a live stream. We're all present right now. As cheesy as that sounds, right? I met one girl in January who I had known for 5 days and never even met her, and she wanted to marry me and book the marriage. Haha. She met me. We hooked up. 2 days later, she blocked me. Her loss. Uh, Thanks, James. You know what? I read that in a book, dude. And I thought I always remember that there's certain little things. I forgot what the book was called, and the lady was saying that it was I think it was an AA counselor or something like that, or a priest. I forgot what it was. And the guy goes, "Well, are you a chair?" And the lady goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Well, if someone's making those comments about you and they're not true, what's the difference of me calling you a chair?" And I thought, wow, that's fucking a really good way to put it. I've used it before when I've talked to people and they're like, "What do you mean? That's stupid." I know it's stupid because it's absolutely not true. And when someone says something about you that you feel is absolutely not true, same thing, right? At work, that's a little bit of a wild story. That's a wild 5 days. Good morning, Mac. How are you doing? Daniel Calamayor Montero. How are you, my friend? I've known her for 40 years, Mac. I was with her sister, and yeah, my brother is an idiot. I have no intention of having anything to do with any woman except maybe the queen, or perhaps Megan might be a better upgrade. Oh, is that the girl from the show Suits? Is that the one? If that's the one, wow, she's special. See, I don't watch the news, so I came across that show Suits like a year ago, and I was like, that show was really good to me. At the how should I say it's really good? I thought it was a good show, and I was like, damn, she's a beautiful woman, you know. And someone was like, oh, she's part of the royal family. What? Because I don't watch the news. You are right about the past. Trouble is musicians have a good memory, so they don't forget, a bit like what they say about elephants. Well, that's why when you're active, like one thing about that's really good about going for a run or walk, you actually have to be present, or else someone's going to hit you with a car. You actually have to be looking around. So the worst place you can be is sitting on a couch, vegging out, because all your mind does is go in the past. That's why being active and going out actually forces you to be in the present. Like I said, going for a run or a hike, you actually have to think like what's going to come next, or a car is going to hit you. Head work, yeah, it's sad when you raise her children, put your career aside for a roof over their shoulder, and when she cheated on you for months and regrets it and wants to make it work. That's tough, Alejandro. That is tough, my friend. But here's the thing. You did the right thing. If I was going to flip that and reframe it, I would rather be you than her. If someone did all that shit for me, Alejandro, if someone put a roof over my head, helped raise my children, and I cheated on them for months and lied about it, that would eat me up a lot more than it would eat you up, because you did everything with good intentions. You did the right thing and it didn't work out. but that doesn't take away the fact that you were a good partner. That's how you reframe that. Yeah, I would like to be like Harvey or Mike. That's a great. I like that show. It was good writing, man. You talking about the show Suits? I thought it was good, man. Harvey's a boss. Harvey's a little Corey Wayne. You like Corey Wayne, Edward? I've been thinking about my relationships with my ex. There were so many red flags about her that I did not realize. She's so full of herself that she doesn't even realize that she needs changes too. Well, that's her job to figure out. Don't get involved in that. A lot of people go, "Oh, I wish that she would be this or she would be that." You aren't going to change people unless they're people that want you to help them change, or they are people that like to take directions. Oh well, I'll let you. I'll let her new man deal with that. That not gonna break no contact at all. Good idea. Excuse me. When you talk like this, when you talk when I talk in the YouTube videos and I make, sometimes you just get this air all the time, nonstop chatting. It's so true. I literally spend every day at my desk. I'm also a computer engineer, make videos, and so added to this, I can watch the videos we shared with music, and it's unusual situation, emotional. Okay. Anyone else have anything that's off the cuff that's a little bit different that can help people get through their current breakup? So what I'm gonna do right now, because we got a little lull in the comments. I'll go through the list I made, just rapid fire, if you will, and you guys can comment as you wish, or maybe add something to it that's a little different. I give myself compliments in the mirror every day. Good for you. That's underrated, actually. People talk to themselves. Is it cheesy to be dating your friends? To be dating your friend's ex? I don't think it's cheating. For me, if it's a good friend of mine, I wouldn't do it. See how serious I was, right? I wouldn't do it. If it's a good friend of mine, even if it was a casual friend, that's just a line I don't cross because, yeah, it's just awkward and there's too many fish in the sea. I value good friend, like people that are my friends. I value them enough to not put myself in a situation where I'm dating their ex. I don't think it's cheesy though. It just depends on your values and how good a friend that is. But you're probably going to sever your friendship. That's the consequence. That's true, James. I've learned a lot, and that's what I want to be the most out of this breakup. Daniel, ignoring red flags is real. I think with men, we can get so thirsty to get with a girl that we look the other way at all their faults. Oh yeah, it's natural when you're highly attracted to a woman to look the other way. Absolutely. That's attraction 101. You just see what you want to see. And that's one of the things when I talk about the honeymoon phase, or other people talk about the honeymoon phase. The first 6 months to a year, everyone's on their best behavior. Everyone's looking their best, smelling their best, taking a shower before they meet up. And you always see someone at their best or the way they want you to see them. And if you live with someone for 2, 3, 4, 5 years, different ball game. She wants to be with me, but I gently refuse. Well, that's your prerogative. That's your choice. And for her to want to be with you and you haven't dated yet, I don't know, situation in mind. I'm a stronger person. I don't regret a single bit helping the kid. You shouldn't. People think, oh, I did all this shit. I did all this. Well, you did it with good intentions and you're a good human being and you hold your head up high because you did the right thing. Because I really love them. I hope the best for them. I actually pray for her and her children. I really think there are a worse situation than mine. Like I said, lead with good intentions. You won't regret it, dude. And she's in a worse place now. If she did that to you and you treated her that well, that's a heavy burden, and it'll hit her at some point. I think there's a lot to be said about the Hollywood Disney thing with films. What Corey mentions, a man can be really crushed these days. Change the mindset. I think even though it seems impossible. Oh, the Hollywood stories are complete bullshit. I've talked about that myself, especially out of breakups. Fairy tales. She wants to be with me just to have all the attention and love I once gave to the ex. How do you feel about that, EG? The gym has helped me the most, but going on walks out in nature has too. Reading books on self-development and making beats, music has helped me move forward. All right, that's nice. Making your own music. Try meditation and visualization too. I'm trying to learn and to do it, it helps. Ooh, that's a big one. I have found that praying, hoping the best for people that have wronged you helps you to forgive the heal. Pray and they get everything you want in your life. Oh, and taking advice from great coaches such as Mac. Well, thank you kindly, as we do in Thailand. Cup, cup on my cup. True, James. All right, let me what I'm gonna do really quick. All right, I'll answer this quick. I make every plan I can. If it's hanging out with a friend, going on a date, getting my hair done, gym, anything at all. Busy, 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 busy. There you go, Jessica. And those are useful things too, right? I was in a 5-year marriage, but there was so much problems we separated. I did therapy, then met someone at my old job a year after. Is that a rebound? Hell no. Hell no. No way. And rebounds aren't always negative. That's what I'm trying to tell people. It depends on your situation, depends on your story. If you were in a 5-year marriage and you had a lot of problems, you separated, you did therapy, you did some work on yourself, you reached, pick some roots, if you will, that weren't very good in the tree, and then you met someone at my old job a year after. No, that's not a rebound. If you met him 6 months after, it wouldn't have been a rebound. I feel like I'm a bit slow getting back to interacting with girls, even speaking about relationship. I need to be more welcoming and upbeat. My social muscle needs work. Well, put yourself in situations where you don't have the pressure of being a pickup artist or picking up women like a nightclub, okay, or a bar. Put yourself in a charity. Mayo, that would actually really suit you. You probably already do charity work because you do Al-Anon and stuff like that. Put yourself in a situation where you're doing charity work and working with like-minded people, and it's not so much pressure to meet someone, but actually you're doing good work together. Music, definitely, bro. I play several moments back in 19. I made the tons of songs, and it helped a lot. 95, for sure, had worked. How long does it take to be with someone again? That's a broad question. Depends on the situation. The cute guy who messaged me the day after my session with you, Mac. That's not a rebound, right? That's just good things happening because I deserve them. Well, you're in your particular situation, Jessica. You guys have been in a long distance relationship. You've had problems off and on for a long time. So I don't know if you getting into another relationship would be considered an ultimate rebound. I think rebounds are really negative when someone's been in 5, 6, 7 years and they get with someone right after. Okay. Someone that comes on this live stream had a situation like that. Someone had been in a marriage for 5 years. They had kids. He hooked up with her 2 days after they broke up. That relationship was never pure or good because she was still had one foot in her marriage. That's a bad rebound. You being in a situation where you guys have been long distance, you haven't been in each other's orbit, you guys are in good contact. I'm not discounting your relationship. I'm just saying it's a much easier transition for you to be able to talk to someone else. And how much better is it that they actually live in your city, right? Long distance relationships are not ideal. They're short term. They are something that you can do them, but you don't want to be doing them for a year, 2 years, 3 years, because it puts a lot of strain on you and the other person. And you're really not being fair to yourself because the ideal relationship is to live in this. If you're not going to live with each other, which probably would be the ultimate, dare I say, because that can't work out too sometimes, but you should be in the same city. He literally lives 5 minutes from my place. I went to his place today. Go for you. I feel like it's only a rebound if you're using them not to feel the pain. Another coach I follow calls it a painkiller. Okay. Yeah, it can be. Absolutely. Like if you're just getting with someone and deep down you don't have them have that serious of feelings. I know that out of the bad breakup I had when I started dating, it was reluctant. It didn't feel right, but I just got out of the house and I didn't hook up with that woman because I wasn't serious about her, but I liked going out and just being out and being able to say I went on a date and interacted with someone, but I wasn't there mentally to go all in. No way. That would have been a painkiller in that position for me. Then Buenos Aires is on my list, Calamare. Absolutely. There's actually a client of mine that's from he's from Argentina, and he lives in Vegas, and he's always telling me, "Why whenever you want to come out to Vegas, man, let me know." I go, I'd rather go to Argentina myself. Buenos Aires would be a top 5 for me. And the people from Argentina that I meet are always really, really nice. Then YouTube came along. Technically, if you get into doing what you do, we wouldn't be in this channel. So Mac would have no viewers. I don't know if there's someone else I know had work that was a client of mine in England, and he does music. I'm not going to mention who he is because he has a pretty big YouTube channel. Maybe he doesn't want to go public that he talked to me, but he was complaining about that you can't make money from music and everything anymore. But what you have to do is get resourceful and find ways that you can. There's a new thing on Airbnb. Like if you know all those instruments, why aren't you teaching people how to play their own instruments? Or doing live shows is where you make the money. Or do an Airbnb where someone stays at your place and you got while they're in your city, if your city's a desirable place to go, and they what do you guys call that when you guys jam together? I don't know. Get resourceful instead of saying like, oh, now I can't sell CDs or sell music. How can you make money from it and have fun? I would say being a music teacher. Random thought. He literally lives 5 minutes away. I was a long distance relation, but it didn't stop me from seeing her once a week. But it's the main reason it ended. But once a week's not ideal, really, to me. It's better than not seeing each other, for 6 months, but it's still not ideal. Long distance is crazy. I met some girl back in 2002 on Yahoo Chat. She worked for American Eye, so turned up in a few weeks to England, was never going to work, 3,000 miles apart. 3,000 miles apart. That's daunting, man. But I mean, you guys could have a good time and have a connection. Here's the thing. If you're going to do long distance and you're both casual about it, don't have a lot of pressure on it, and you're open to the fact that you could meet someone, then it might work. Depends on where you're at in your life too. Really, a long distance relationship works best if people are open. I'm in no contact since 5 months, and I did mistakenly called her on WhatsApp. That's suspect. I also know that she's deleted my number because while calling her, I couldn't see her profile picture anymore. Thoughts, please. Stay in no contact, Leonardo GS. Just stay in no contact. Erase her from WhatsApp. Stop trying to call her. James, you got a rebound when I've done it. It feels like I'm just acting out because I'm angry. It's like, fuck you. If you want me, this other person does. I'm still wanted. Buenos Aires is interesting. Going to a therapist, there is a normal counseling and is big there. Counseling is big there in Buenos Aires? This is random. There's a lot of depressed people, but because of that, I want to go check out their art. Buenos Aires is interesting. Going to a therapist there is normal. I think going to a therapist is normal in America. Yeah, I just booked a cooking workshop via Airbnb for my vacation next week. I didn't even know it was a thing. Fucking, it is a thing. It's called experiences. Because I do Airbnb for my house in Thailand, and I thought about doing this myself with a different thing. Like there's someone in Malibu or Southern California that's surfing, and then they take you out for tacos. But people, you can do that with your whatever you're good at. That's the suggestion I've had for other people. If you have like a nice place in a pretty cool city, you're in Belgium, you can offer your place out and anything that you do good and you want to offer to someone. Leonardo mistakenly called her just playing. Buenos Aires has the largest art museum in South America, and with many depressed people, I know they put emotion into their arts. It's really supposed to be a cool place. I have a client that went there, Iceland, and they're supposed to have really good artists there and a high level of depression, I'm told. I'm going to hate to say this, but meeting a woman with children is problematic as much as it shouldn't be. It just is. I love trolling. They are funny, but the loyalties are divided. Well, I don't know if that was problematic, but that was pretty random. I don't know where that came from, Headwork, but if it's problematic for you, then stay away from it, because taking on a woman that has kids is taking on a separate responsibility than just being boyfriend and girlfriend. You have to actually like the kids, I usually say, and that sounds shallow because The idea is when you have kids, you usually have this built-in love for them. But when you if you're dating a woman that's, got a 5-year-old and a 7-year-old, if you just don't even like the kids from the get-go, it's probably not going to work because you don't have that built-in unconditional love. And you got to be on deck for it right away. You can't just be like, well, I'm not sure about it. I've had friends that are in those situations, and they honestly, I thought they were kind of jerks, because they just never liked the idea of sharing their girlfriend with, the kids. I don't think I could date a kid. I don't think I could date a woman with kids. Then don't. There's plenty of single women that don't have kids. Like, I would wonder why they couldn't make it work with the father. It's a bit of a red flag unless she's a widow. LOL. That's harsh, man. You know what like I said, you have to like the kid. You have to like hanging out with the kid. If I'm a sports guy, so if I was dating someone and the kid played basketball and he was into sports and stuff, it would help. Um, James, I've never had a problem with it in the past, but it seems to be a thing, and it's sad, really. I want to go to Iceland. I've heard good things about it. There's a guy that, like I said, he's my client. He travels a lot. He's been there like 3 times. Actually, he had his breakup in Iceland. They broke up in Iceland. I think Iceland is in a state of emergency. I have no idea. Like I said, I don't watch the news. I'm not sure. I'm going to South Korea in a couple days. It's going to be awesome. I've heard good things about South Korea. I don't know why I saw it on TV news while I was at the gym. That's random. I don't know. I'm not sure. I only say that, Mac, because if they live in their house and you live in yours and they have, say, 3 kids. Well, 3 kids is a lot to me. You don't get to see each other as much. Try finding a woman 30 plus that does not have kids. I think there's a lot out there. It depends on where you live, dude. If you're single right now, Headwork, you should consider moving because you're saying it's hard to meet like-minded friends. It's hard to meet women over 30 without kids. They're out there. You're just not in the right area. I mean, there's certain areas of the world where there's women with less kids. There usually are industrial areas or cities. But that's a big generalization that's going to hold you back. That being said, you obviously have come across a couple of women that you were interested in that had kids. Here's the thing. You come second, that kids come first. And that's what a lot of guys have trouble with. And if they somehow get the woman to put you first, then you jeopardize, it's a really fine line. Jessica, that's awesome. I want to go to South Korea real bad. Just don't go too far north. Oh, I'm going to check it out. It should be interesting. Why would they say that you couldn't have that comment? Funny when you think you're wild, but your mom is even wilder. Can't relate to that. My mom's not a wild one. My ex, laugh out loud, my ex. But that's cool that you think that about yours. Slowly talk to my ex, just having fun. Just having fun a day or so per week, hanging out overnight. I know she has a guy friends from when we were broken up. I'm fine with that right now, but great advice as always, coach. Slowly take talking to my ex, just having fun a day or so per week, hanging out overnight. I know she has guy friends from when we've broken up. All right, Melted Blue, go for it, man. If you can go in with no expectations, stay in the present moment, and you guys are linking up and having good times one time a week, okay. Great advice as always. Cheers. Thanks, buddy. I think it's Mac's pitch to move to Thailand. That's up to you, dude. That's a whole other ball game. I mean, you're a computer engineer, right? So I'm just saying that it doesn't sound like the area you're in is producing for you. You might have to go to a different grounds. I wish I was in my 20s, Daniel. Me too, Daniel. But dudes like Headwork are a little older, I think. You know what? Cheers. Thanks for the like, whoever that was. I'm 49, bro. Better than 50. Wouldn't you want to be in your early 20s but know what you know now? That's deep, right, Edward? I mean, I'm 38. I always tell people I've never been wiser. I've never been smarter. Life experience, man. The young's wasted on the young. I've heard that quote a few times. No shade, Headwork. I feel like I feel for you. Dating as an older man sounds not that fun. But I'm a band dude and women love that shit. That's true. Cheers. Thanks for the like. Damn, Mac, I still have a lot to go. I'm not I mean, you seem like a sharp dude, Daniel. And you're learning a lot right now. But I'm just saying, when you're like, oh shit, I could have done this. Like, everything's hindsight, you know. Wish I known this or this or that. But it all ends up working out as long as you don't get any bad addictions. You know, you don't become an alcoholic or a drug addict or something like that. You're gonna learn along the way, dude. Yeah, Headwork agrees. See, it's good to learn this shit in your 20s. Seriously, seriously. It is, and it's good to conversate with older people, Daniel, to get perspective and be respectful to them. I'm not telling you you have to listen to what I say or some of these other people, but wisdom comes with age, dude. 35. Any advice from the ILD school? I'm not sure what that means, Mayo. I'm sorry, bud. That's one thing you can learn, Daniel. When you don't understand something, tell people you don't understand. Don't play like you know everything. There's a lot of people like that. Oh yeah, I just know that. I said, wait, I don't understand. Can you explain that? It means old school. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, because it was I. Okay, so it was a typo. I have two boys, single mom, and dated a guy I met. It was great, but since I lived with family, they got involved and told him he's not the father, so it's hard. But if you let them know or move out, it can work. You know what? It can work. I mean, it absolutely can work. Some people are open to that. Your family getting involved isn't really fair, but I'm not sure how you can steer them another way if you're still living with them. No worries. Mac has plenty of advice about age differences in relationship. My ex was 5 years younger than me, and I think it affected things. It depends on the age difference. If it's 30 to 25, or if it means old school work. But in case it didn't, but in my case, it didn't. Yeah, my advice is this: don't fall in Hollywood Disney love, but on your terms, not the bullshit version. Well, there you go. Headworks preaching today, Daniel. Oh yeah, if this turns into anything, I'll be asking Mac everything. For now, we're just hanging out. He's bought tickets to go with me to a festival after my South Korea trip. Oh wow, there's really some momentum here. Good for you, Miss Jessica. Be in the present moment. Don't have high expectations. Lead with good intentions and see what happens. I think you're in a pretty good place for that. Hang out, have fun, and that's awesome. Yeah. Um, yeah, and you know, people get ahead of themselves, and going back to headwork, they get into these Hollywood stories, and then it ruins things. Just go out, have fun, do your thing, be yourself. He's cute. Nothing's happened yet. Not sure it would work with the age difference, though. Don't even think about that. Just go out, see if you guys have a connection, have a good conversation, have a couple drinks. Let it lead to what it leads to. Don't have any barriers on it. That's all. Don't think about the age difference. Just you go out, you have a good conversation, you guys vibe well, plus. Then we'll go out again. Plus. Then we'll go out again. Oh shit. He said this. It really bothers me. Maybe we're not compatible. Maybe we'll go out one more time and see how it goes. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I know to keep my individuality. Corey Wayne put it best when he said, have a backbone. I guess that's a really good way to put it. Yeah. What I would say too is like, even if because people have asked me before in regards to, say, someone like Corey Wayne, well, what do you not like about it? Because someone's like, do you not agree with him? I'm like, well, I agree with most of what he says, and I really like him and stuff like that. But I don't know if people that are overly agreeable are a little bit annoying. And people that are overly disagreeable are a little bit annoying. There's kind of a sweet spot where someone's can have a conversation with you, disagree, but allow you to speak and have a civil conversation. And then you go, all right, we can agree to disagree. Or you say, like, I agree with 70% what you said. And what I'm saying about that, having your backbone, have your own intuition, have your own thoughts and beliefs. Don't always agree with what everyone says. And when someone does give you advice or say something and it resonates, like this backbone term, shape it and frame it in your own way. Women crack me up. I have about 300 love letters from a woman I was with for just 3 years. Well, 3 years is pretty long, dude. And the long book like letters are profound. I still have them, but what do they mean? The moment only. Well, why do you have them? Why are you keeping them? 300 love letters? Do you still revisit those love letters? They might mean more to you than to her. People convey love differently too. You know what I mean? I've never had someone write me 300 love letters in 3 years. Something that always hits home is when you're doing your video email coaching and you say, "Where's your power?" It's a good thing to come back to, right? Because that's something you can do on your own. You don't need me to say that to you. It's a good place to be, and I do it with myself sometimes when you get negative or you're complaining about something. It's like you're on the mat and you're like, "Oh, this happened to me. This happened to me." All right, where's my power? All right. It's like you have a really shitty job, right? Not you, Jessica, but anyone else out there just keep complaining about where's my power? I can quit. I can ask for a different job at the play. There's all kinds of things that open up from that line. Good for you, Daniel. Don't always go with what everyone else is doing because sometimes the sheep are headed for a cliff. Great line. I haven't heard that before, but it's true. There's some people I know, and I'm just like, there's a friend of mine introduced by another friend, and he's a cool dude. Everything's cool, but he just agrees with everything you say about sports, about this, and sometimes it's just like fucking have an opinion, dude. Disagree sometimes. I can burn them, Mac. That's insane. I'm a hoarder. Burn them. Throw them away. What do they mean to you? I mean, I don't think age is a matter. I'm in my 50s, and my last 5 girlfriends been in their 20s, and I changed to 30s now. Well, why haven't those turned into longer? Are you serial monogamous? So are you someone that wants to have short-term relationships, monogamous relationships? Or do you want something long term? Why aren't those 5 girlfriends in their 20s lasting very long? But age, if you're gonna have a long term relationship, the people I've seen that, let's say you're like you said, you're in your 50s or you're in your late 40s and you're with someone 25, there's usually a shelf life on it. I'm not trying to ruin that for you because as a man, everyone goes, right on, man. You got a 25-year-old, good for fucking you. I'm not raining on your parade. I'm not hating on that. I'm just saying, probably at some point, that 25-year-old's going to go, oh shit, you're 55 now? You know, when she's 30, and there's just some different. And the biggest thing that I've come across, and people have sent me their stories, and a lot of times those people will keep it private. Um, and these are good dudes. Like there was this one dude, he was like 45. He had his own business. He was highly confident. He's like, I'm a fucking good looking dude. He had a lot going for him, right? And he was centered, if you will, like you'd say with Corey Way and all that stuff. We did a live coaching session. He was dating this chick that was like 26 or 25. I was like, man, she's a knockout. And you know what happened? The way that he said a couple things that were not politically correct, and she just jumped on him. And he was like, well, I just meant this. Right? He said something provocative and he meant it in a playful way, and she took it in a way that was highly offensive, and it had to do with their age differences about how they looked at the world. And it ended the relationship so quickly. He's like, what the fuck just happened? She was playing way different games, and she was seeing another her ex that was younger than him, and it played games with him. And usually, a lot of times, not always Ozzy, but with that age difference, once they're together for 6 months to a year, the guys become a little bit more insecure about the fact that the age difference is there. Can it work? Fuck yeah, it can work. The odds of it working long term, like 15, 20 years, probably aren't as good. Probably aren't as good. But like I said, as a guy, you're like, damn, good for you, man. But there tends to be more problems because of the age difference. There's an outlook on the world that's highly different. And like I said, let's just break it down to someone saying a phrase to you and you're like, oh, I just meant this. And they're like, oh my God, can't believe you said that. Hey, I don't see a problem with keeping mementos from past relations as long as you only come back to them when you have completely moved on and you can just appreciate the good memories. Up to you on that one. Fair play. 300 love letters? I'll tell you why I keep them, because I can keep it real knowing that they felt like that at the moment, not now. Well, it makes you feel good too. It's an ego boost, let's be honest. Where's your power? When you say that, it always feels like someone's snapping fingers and making you come out of it. Thank you. Love it. I threw away the letters my ex wrote me. The last letter she wrote me, she claimed I was her best friend. She would always say that. Well, that's used a lot, right? A lot of people say you should be best friends. Depends on what someone's definition of that is. And if you don't want to be your best friend anymore, then probably not going to reread that over and over again. Besides, I can't burn them. I'm sorry, I lost my place here, people. We're right on an hour right now. Okay. Great discussion today. Thanks, James, Headwork, Daniel, usual suspects here. Aussie, getting some, look at you, Matt, getting some catchphrases here. Thanks. Uh, that's your clarity or your favorite Mac lines. It is true. How much that is your, well, okay, that is my catchphrase. I say that all the time. Sometimes I'm like, I know I say that all the time, right? Because I listen to some other people on YouTube. I'm like, wow, you say that all the time. And then I'm thinking probably the same fucking thing, right? It in a way makes me realize their weakness, or at least how they felt at that moment. Oh, there's more clarity in it. Yeah, that is your clarity. Because some people are, oh, I don't understand. Well, that phrase right there was your clarity. There's a really good hip hop song by a dude named Atmosphere. James, you're from Cincinnati. You know who Atmosphere is? And the song's Love Life. And he says, bury me with a pocket full of clarity. I love that line. Uh, Look at you, Matt, getting entries. Besides, I can't burn them because they're a book called The Book of Brilliant Things. My ex used to call me her best friend line. When she ended it, she was trying to be friends. It's like she wanted to feel better about it, but that's not how friends act. Yeah, there's some pity involved in that line sometimes. Just thinking about it made me feel some type of way. Oh, cool, James. He's from Cincinnati. Like I found out about him later on. Yeah. Cool, man. I'm glad you came up on that. I listened to that song a lot when I was in my breakup. That song's old as fuck. It's like 15, 20 years old. Um, but he's got good lyrics. Like his lyrics are cool, man. Bury me with a pocket full of clarity. She would say we were more than a couple. We were the best friends too. I mean, when you're a couple and you're best friends, fair enough. I would say that in my relationships, that those were true. I spent a lot of time, spent a lot of time where we just get along. That means you connect really well. That means you trust each other. What's a best friend? You have great connections. You have great conversations. So that's fair enough. And I'll say this: I've been the one to break up with a girlfriend before, and I've been like, oh yeah, we could stay friends in my head. But deep down, if they didn't want that, and I know they wanted more, I knew it wouldn't work. So I wouldn't put them in that position. I didn't even want to be with my ex. She was not even single, but wanted to hang out. What I mean is that the reason she wanted me is because I didn't want her power trip. Simple rules for simple fools. Simple tools. Mac, I didn't know. Okay, that one. Where's your power is t-shirt material. Just saying, Mac. I'll think about it. A friend of mine from high school is. This is random, but there's these websites with t-shirts, and you could put your own phrase on there. And he had just taken pictures like at the beach, and put them on these t-shirts, and they didn't really sell them. Like, who took these pictures? Like, those are my pictures. And there was a picture of a girl, or a woman, excuse me, a woman that was like in her 30s, and she was like in a bikini, and she was like, I don't know, like 100 yards away, it looked like. And I'm like, who's that? And he's like, I don't know, I just took her picture and put her on the shirt. I'm like, could you even do that? Dignity and loss is greater than a win. That's some gladiator shit, man. Spaniard, I shall root for you. I started to listen to you back in the day on my. I started to listen to you back in the day on my second 20-something lady. They just didn't cooperate with my program. I like to travel. They were holding me back from my purpose, coach. Well, there you go, man. Good for you. I don't have any problems with you being in your 50s and you're going out with women in their 20s, right? Shit, go for it. I'm just saying that over time and what I've come across, um, usually it doesn't work out long term, whether that's 4 or 5, 6 years. But if you're all right with it, fine. And what happens is when you're older like that, like it is kind of like, yeah, you know what I mean? You get props from it, right? Only miss what I haven't seen yet. Okay. Breaking news. Cute guys coming over tomorrow. Okay. I would buy some Mac merchandise. Okay. Um, I'll think about making that shirt then. I just, that's funny because I don't go to Corey Wayne's page much, but I just watched a video recently for 10 seconds because it came up on my side feed when I was watching YouTube. And he sells a bunch of merchandise now, like mugs and stuff. I don't know if he just started that or it's been a long time. In life, I just try to stay on the wrong side of trouble. Okay. I so totally would too. All right, folks. I'm working on it. I'm getting consistent with my live streams. I'm getting consistent with my videos. I might as well throw some merch out there, huh? What's a good thing to say if you think your ex is catching feelings but you're not ready? Uh Continue doing what you're doing without saying anything. That's what I would say. Keep Don't put yourself in a situation like, oh, I've noticed that you've done this. Then they feel like, oh, they're going to overcompensate. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't make a big deal out of it. There's a world. Melted Blue. She should be a little bit imagining like, well, what is he thinking? Does he think like, is he catching feelings? Like, there should be a little mystery to it. You shouldn't just go like, definitely don't do this. Like, hey, when are we getting back together? When are we going to get serious again? If you start that conversation, done. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep some mystery to it. Have some things that you're doing on your own. You said you're meeting her once a week, if I remember correctly. That's fine. Don't be pressure based. Have your purpose. And you're probably not going to agree with this, but make sure you're maybe spinning some other plates and talking to some other women so you're not so desperate when you see her. There's a world out there where you can produce the goods without being a wizard. Okay, good. I need new clothes. My old clothes don't fit me anymore. All this muscle gain. Right on, Daniel. I buy band t-shirts to support my favorite artists. You're no different, man. Okay, I'll get the. Okay, I'll look into the shirt. Where's your power? Where's your power? That's clarity. Those are two. Only exist to kill people's illusion. I'm perplexed on that one. Use your illusion. Mac, I got 3D scan 2 days ago and I'm up 34. I'm up 34 pounds and I'm only 12% fat, athletic category. The self-work really helps. What you drinking anyways? Is that Coke? No, I don't drink Coca-Cola. I haven't drank Coca-Cola in years. It's a cold brew coffee. I like cold brew. Life is about learning how not to destroy life. That sounds yummy. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's kind of like a wine coffee. It's lighter. That's pretty good. We had a nice little conversation going here. Damn, Daniel, I think you need more body fat. I'll give you some of mine. My boy Daniel out there getting cut. That's how we do it. I'm nice like that. Well, go for you, Daniel. I noticed I went to the gym here in Northern California, and these dudes are yoked, man. Everyone looks like they just got out of the pen. I don't know if they take a bunch of that whey protein or what, but I'm walking around going, wow, and is it funny? Anyone else out there? Maybe Daniel, because you're part of the gym culture or whatever. The dudes that get really yoked, the kind of fucking clothes they wear. Oh my god, it's like they like. I don't know if you guys know what MC Hammer pants are. Hammer pants and the tank tops that are really thin, down the back where you can see your whole muscles. And they usually wear like shoes that are like Pony. I don't know if you know the brand Pony, and they wear these high tops with like tube socks with a big tongue. They always have like heavy weightlifters. They always have that look, and then they're in the mirror and they're like, walking around, it's just like, dude, fucking tone it down. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like, wow. But the style of like a real bodybuilder, they have their own skilo, dude. It's kind of funny. All the girls in yoga pants. Yeah, that's taken over recently. I mean, if I, there's some good looking women in yoga classes. Damn. Those crazy bodybuilders have body dysphonia, in my opinion. I knew a guy who was so jacked that he legit would say how the thought he was small. It's James. I think insecurity drives them a lot of times, not always. Actually, who's a really interesting read on this book is Arnold Schwarzenegger. I thought he was a total meathead. Totally wrong, dude. That dude's fucking smart, calculated. If you're into weightlifting and stuff, Daniel, he's got a great. I forgot what the name of his book is. It's The Terminator or something like that. Arnold is a legend, dude. When I read that book, I was impressed. Dude. He's a smart dude. Really impressed. That's one of those things when you read stuff like that, you're like, oh shit, totally generalize this guy based on the movies he made being a meathead. Not true at all. Not true at all. But you know what I'm talking about, Daniel, about the attire some of these guys wear, right? The clothes and shit. It's just so, because I was just at the gym yesterday. I'm like, the hammer pants, dude, never fails. Just wild shit. The world depends on you to do the right thing because there's more than enough people doing the wrong thing. Well, two wrongs don't make a right. That's one of my grandma's favorites. I remember when she first said that, I was like, damn, two wrongs don't make a right. I remember I had a debate in high school. I forgot what it was over. And I ended it with that. Well, that's wrong. And this is wrong. And two wrongs don't make a right. And everyone was like, yeah. Yeah, it's like, it was like a fucking great close, Simple statement. What I'm going to do right now, because I wrote these out and I don't want to waste them, I'm going to mention these 20 things rapidly and quickly. Ways to get through a breakup. Let's get through these really. What is it? What is it you just wrote? Max stealing off his Nan. I actually had a grandma that I called Nana. Let's listen. Okay. You can comment too. So, ways to get through your breakup. The goal is to move on and move forward. The past is done and dusted, as you would say in England, right? You want to look forward to something outside of your ex. Get clear on what happened and why. Write your story out. Unpack with someone. Be accountable and be honest with yourself. Number two, stop saying you fucked up. You broke up. There's a difference. In most cases, it was inevitable. If you really did something wrong, forgive yourself and get a second opinion you respect. So if you're beating yourself up right now, which most of you that I talk to I don't think are, get a second opinion. Number three, any kind of active exercise is good. The gym is not required. If you don't like the gym or running, find an active physical movement you can do daily. Yoga, martial arts, boxing, Zumba, runs on the beach, hikes in the mountains, team sports. I don't give a fuck. Do it. Number four, do not sit in your house or revisit nostalgic places to remember them. So this is a do not. Number five, find some safe zones you feel comfortable with. Your parents' house for dinner, the library, a cafe, a local park. Think about the collective unconscious of these locations. What do I mean by that? Go to places where you feel comfortable and you feel calm is the word I want to use. Number six, change your routine. I've talked about this before. Number seven, be nice and kind to people. Number eight, do some charity work, volunteer somewhere, anything that suits you. So the thing about charity work or volunteer work, this isn't like going for a job just to get a paycheck. This is something that you want to do where you can help people and you can feel better about yourself. And it's actually in a lot of ways a selfish act. Some people don't think it is, but you're going to get something from it. Number nine, stop watching the news. It's negative. Number 10, go on social media fast for 1 month. Just stay off social media for you. Number 11, write in your journal. Number 12, plan something exciting for the future. It sounds simple, but a lot of people don't do it. Number 13, decide what you want to get better at and study and research it. If your ex told you don't communicate well and you agree, this is the time to improve that. So if they told you don't do something well and it's bothering you and it's lingering, fucking improve it. Number 14, get a pet. I'd suggest a dog or a cat. Number 15, be thankful for everything you currently have. A lot of people don't do this. Make a list, make a long list, come back to it. You got a lot of stuff working for you that you don't even realize. Number 16, get resourceful about your goals. You have a goal in place, you're not getting resourceful enough about making it happen. You have things that can help you in that lane. Number 17, move away for a job, a long trip, 3 months or more, or a purpose. Joining the military, join the Peace Corps. I don't care. Make a commitment to moving somewhere new. Have a purpose in doing that. It could be a 3-month hiatus, a 6-month one, or it could just be moving for a job, like I mentioned. 18, be around positive people or those you enjoy their company. If someone brings you down, just say, stay the fuck away from them. 19, explore alternative treatments. EFT is emotional freedom technique. You can look this up on. So someone was asking me this before. What do I do? What do I do? Look up EFT. Look up hypnotherapy. Breakup coaching sessions with myself or someone else. Pick someone else. I don't care. But do something where you're exploring alternative treatments or help. Solution based. It adds up. Good intentions. Be careful with superstitions. I meet some people that get superstitious, and I don't think that's the best place to be with, being in a breakup. Number 20, look at all the people around you who've had breakups and think, damn, they got through it. How? Why? They just did over time. I did this. I've talked about this before. My grandma was married 4 times, had 3 husbands die. I remember coming back to that and just being like, damn. Every time she picked herself up off the mat and moved forward. 21, you are a unique individual that sees the world as no one else. How your ex sees things will never line up completely with yours. That's truth. Take a real strong look at your current values and your current identity. Do you like it? Do you want to change some things or add some? Are there some parts about your character you believe are unchangeable? These are good questions to ask yourself. Take up some form of meditation. What do you do in flow state? A really good guy is Michael Seeley. He's on YouTube and he does guided meditation. So if you don't feel like you can do it on your own, research meditation. Find ways to do it. Number 23, where do you want to be in 5 years? What have you achieved? Visualize the end game in 5 years. Number 24, ask yourself the question, who am I? Number 25, what is possible now that you are broken up? Number 26, if you had all the money in the world, you could do anything, what would it be? Can you scale that down, or is it possible? Think big, open your mind up to grand possibilities. So if anyone's still there after all that, what do you guys think? So right here. Those crazy bodybuilders have body dysfunction. Okay, we stop there. Let's listen. Grandma sounds like a badass. Grandma was. She definitely wasn't someone that felt sorry for herself. She got a new man pretty quickly. See her again. Nostalgic places rules out travel for me, no matter where. Wow, really? The world's a pretty big place for that. Thinking about a breakup being inevitable is intense, but I guess all relationships have an expiration date. Actually, they do, James, if you think about it, because you're going to pass away at some point. So, charity work sounds good. It's underrated. Everyone that I've had that has taken that up have said it went really well. There's one dude, he was like, I was really nervous, but I was excited. And I'm like, well, how'd you feel when you got home? I said, I felt really good. And this particular individual hadn't been working and stuff. So I said, go for that. And the thing is, charity, you have a choice. Like you had work, you could easily teach people music, right? At a in America we call boys and girls clubs or something like that. But you could do something that you actually like doing. And then you can meet a really good woman that's like-minded, that's charitable maybe. Woohoo, I think I'm doing all these so far. Okay. Don't get a pet. Okay, don't get a pet then. These are just these, except charity, still need to find something. I have 2 cats, they do my head in. Don't get the pet then. Pets prevent you from travel too? That's limited thinking. You could have your friend or family member watch your pet. Pets prevent you. I live in an apartment. It would be too cruel for pets. Then don't get one. It's fine. If I had to pick one thing out of the 26 I mentioned, pet would probably be last. Okay. CBT. I don't know what CBT is. CBT, that new oil, that weed oil. Sure. Okay, Daniel just wrote it. Michael Seeley. He's got a bunch of guided meditations on YouTube. I think he's pretty good. I've recommended them to other people. Um, they're like an hour long. They're free. Check them out. I think he's pretty good. Maybe Daniel already saw him before. And then just sit there, put it in before you sleep and see if it helps you. Sorry. Head work, they always hide what you say because you have swear words. Everyone I think everyone I meet thinks I am a top. Everyone I meet thinks I'm a top dog. I don't listen to any of their shit. I hear them saying I am not all that compared to you. It's all bullshit. Okay. Found him great tip. I'm a little picky about the voices and musics these people use. Well, if you don't like it, like Michael Sealer, if you don't like it, fine. I don't mind. I've listened to him. I think he's good. And he's got different things. And there's another guy that he pairs up with that's good. I'm drawing a blank. Check out my channel, Jess. You might like a few songs. Here we go. Headworks plugging his music again. Good for you. I donate blood. Could that count as charity work? Absolutely. Do you feel good about it? Fuck yeah. I would say that charity work would require you to do some things, but giving blood would be, yeah, I'll give it to you. I'll give you, if I had a like to give you, I'd give you a like on that. I have a teaching qualification, but it's hard to get a green card. Why? Because you have to come to America to teach. CBT is cognitive impairment. Okay, that's a therapy. Go for it. Dogs are awesome. They calm you. I agree. CBT calm. Okay. Oops, sorry, head work. Just giving make a heads up. I've been I have to be being. I'm sorry. We'll do head work. Open it in new tab for after this. Okay. Nice session today, guys. Hour 20 minutes here. I think we've done well. Thanks for the likes, folks. I appreciate a year from now, Mac. You will have 3,000 subs or more. Oh, that's big. When I get to that, I'll throw a party. I really hope so. I'm gonna punch it into high gear pretty soon here. I've enjoyed these live streams. Like someone else said, you know what? We have 13 people on. We can interact this way and help each other out and have some really good chats. I'm fine with that. I'm coming to that party. Well, thank you. Yeah, 3,000 subscribers. No shame. Good for you. What's really interesting is we get caught up in these numbers of subscribers and views, and some channels can just have subscribers and views because they show a hot chick or something. I mean, these channels take time. So if you do it organically, as some people would say, um, but my hope is to get to 10,000. 10,000 is supposed to be a pretty good number. And these live streams, this isn't really work to me. It's fun. No worries, bro. I will link my Tottenham fans on Facebook to your channel. There's over 3,000 of them. I don't know if Tottenham fans are gonna like breakup advice, but okay. Anything you're doing to try to help me, much appreciated, my friend. Much appreciated. Anyone have any questions here? This has been a pretty good session today. Any stirring questions? Any topics you want me to touch on another live chat? I'm gonna mosey on out pretty soon here. Maybe another 15, 20 minutes. Thanks for joining today, Viha. I agree, dogs are awesome. Yeah, I have a question. Thanks, Viha. Oh, Mac, I got my copy of The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Cool, that's a great book. Great book. Planning on devouring it on my trip to the South. Great book. And it's not too long. It's not too long a book. And it's considered self-improvement, but I don't know. It's definitely a different style than most self-improvement books. Why do you become a life coach? Because your past experience, like Corey. I'm not a life coach. I'm a breakup coach. Um, the reason why I clarify that because before I started this channel, before I started this channel, I kind of was like thinking to myself, I don't know if I want to use the term coach because of the life coaches and other people out there with that term. If anything, I would consider myself a teacher because that's what I actually do, and I've done it for 9.5 years now. And identify with that. But saying teacher Mac McCarthy just doesn't sound the same. And I've been a coach before, but the idea of um, being a breakup coach is highly specialized. So the idea, because of your past experiences and breakups, yes. Because of my past experiences and helping other people with breakups, yes. Because other people told me I'm good at it, that I give good advice, and that I've been there for them before repeatedly. And so I went to myself. I said, all right, took some inventory. Someone like Corey Wayne, he would be more like a life coach, I guess, because he does stuff about business. But probably if you watch his channel, majority of it is relationship based. But at the core, what I do is breakups because I've been there and I've gotten through it. Um, but here's what I would say about that at work. I'm down to earth enough to know I don't know if anyone's a fucking expert on all relationships, all being. But if people listen to your situation, listen to your story, listen to who you are as a person, I'm talking about live coaching sessions, they can help you out. They can help you out. There's the thing about breakups and relationships, there isn't a science to this. The only absolutes are math, right? 2 plus 2 is fucking 4. Someone said 2 plus 2 is 8, you just go, this guy's nuts, right? They never learned math. That's an absolute answer. With breakups, there is no absolute answers. There's paths, there's openings, there's different things, and you got to explore them. So that's kind of a long answer to your question, but I don't consider myself a life coach. I think life is a broad topic. To be all knowing about life, that's suspicious to me. If someone says I'm a breakup coach or I'm a basketball coach, I'm like, oh, you're specialized in something and you have some background in it. Mm. And the great thing about YouTube is I can show you what I'm doing when I give advice on people's stories. So you can decide, oh, that dude gives good advice. Or you can say, wow, I don't really like the way that guy approaches it. Fine, go to another channel. How to maintain attraction long term would be a good one, maybe. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Maybe we'll keep that for the next live stream. I've been asked that by women before, actually, and I had a video on that a long time ago for a client of mine. I don't know the title of the video now because I had someone go through and do all my titles again with better keywords, I was told. Um, but I'll keep that in mind, James. So maybe that'll be the next one. Because that's a long topic. But the short answer to how to maintain attraction long term would be to stick with who you are, always have a purpose, as cliche and common as that sounds for a man, because you're asking in a man's perspective. Um, that's what people come back to over and over again. But we'll unpack that deeper on a live stream. Good question. Breakup coach, then, yeah. You're way more than a breakup coach, Mac. Well, thanks, Jessica. We get into a lot of different things, to be honest, when we do a live session. Thank you. I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment. Yo, Blue, what's up? Block my ex to move on and work on myself. Now, too many of her friends are keeping in touch, trying to reach out. Got one of her friends texting me, asked me to give her a call. I'm a little confused here. Let me reread this. Block my ex to move on and work on myself. Now, too many of her friends are keeping in touch, trying to reach out. Got one of her friends texting me, asked me to give her a call. Okay, do you want to give her a call? Yes or no? Do you respect these friends' opinions? Um, is the friends reaching out to you causing you problems, or is it something that you welcome? Where's your power? It's so cool to see same people showing up. Yes, it is. So what happened to you when you broke up, and who was the one that coached you? Good question. Good question. Well, I've talked about that multiple times in different videos. There's 500 videos out there now, head work. So I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, but my worst breakup of 10 years ago, which I've talked about before and I'm over, um, thankfully, right? Um, I had a cousin that was close to me that really helped me out and was there for me. Was just there for me, really listened to what was going on. I did some hypnotherapy, which I've talked about before. I talked to a lady that I've mentioned this before, like a spiritual healer. Talked to her on the phone for almost 2 hours, and she helped me out a lot. So those would be the three that come off the top of my head. And from those experiences, I carry a lot of that stuff into when I help other people out. But I have my own approach um, just from being 38 and having a lot of life experience. And I love reading psychology and those kinds of things. So I'm sorry. Head work always likes to ask deep questions. Lost my place here. Um, which is why I like that there isn't 3,000 people on here. A guy I don't even know. I'm afraid she'll show up at my place before I'm ready to see her again. Don't be afraid. If she shows up, deal with it. Be a man. Don't create a situation that hasn't happened yet. And if the situation happens, is it really that bad? Is it something to be afraid of? If you're laughing about it, breakups suck. Remember, time will heal all wounds, but talking to someone about it helps. Absolutely. Being honest with someone too, and being able to tell them everything rather than just withhold things. That's a big thing. Now he has hit the mark. What made you attractive from day one, and why are you not attractive now? One of my favorite videos you made was scarcity is attractive, no contact is attractive. That is the most popular video actually on the channel. So in other words, be yourself, and if you don't like it, tough. Um, well, do you want to be with someone that's compromising their character and their identity of who they are to make the other person like them? You got to remind yourself that you've been heartbroken before and you got over it. Why wouldn't you this time? Good question, or good way to put it. I like the phrase "Where's my power?" Thanks, Viha. You need glasses, Mac. Oh, because my eyes keep squinting. Those glasses that I wear sometimes are not prescription glasses. They're actually blue light glasses. And the house I'm at right now has a window right in front of me, so I don't need to use any extra light. But my other office, I use a couple lights to put on you, and those bug the shit out of my eyes. But I do think that one of my eyes is worse than the other. But I'm fighting getting. I don't want to get glasses because once you get glasses, you can't go back. Have to run right on Melted Blue. I'm gonna run pretty soon myself. This has been a fucking fantastic session, folks. Later, Blue. Have an amazing week, man. Nice one, Jessica. Give us a closing statement. Give us a closing statement on the topic we're at. Closing statement. This is, what's interesting about this? I've had this situation a few times where you consider yourself a pretty good speaker as a teacher, like no pressure, right? Because this is what I was just thinking about. So, like I said, I've been a teacher for years, and I teach at a university for the last 4 years. And they'll have these events where they'll have all the students there, and it's like, uh, I don't know, a debate or different things, and they'll be like, "Oh, Matt, can you speak?" It's like, you didn't tell me that you wanted me to speak. I'm not fucking shy, but I didn't prepare anything. So you're just in front of them, and some of the students from my class were like, "Yeah, yeah," like getting all excited. It's just like, but I didn't come up with anything, right? So you kind of been put on the spot. But let's see if I can come up with a closing statement here, because our topic was how to get through breakups, right? Um, Once you learn to tighten the spokes on your wheel, you can invite someone for a ride. Fair play. You're a real poet. You know that had work. A real fucking poet. A real poet. um, what I would say though is that whatever you do, whatever advice you get when you're in a breakup, make sure it's someone you respect. Make sure it's someone you respect based on who they are and what they do, and advice that they've given other people. So in my particular case, you've got 500 videos and 500 examples of, oh well, I like, oh that sounds good, or that phrase sounds good, this or that, and then you go, all right, I'm going to go with this person because they resonate with me and I like their approach. A lot of times you get advice from friends or family members. They're friends and family members, but they're not the best people to get advice from. And they're actually going to make you feel a lot worse and put you in 10 different directions. And when you asked me that earlier, Headwork, about who was my coach, I was very thankful and lucky to have those three that I mentioned and the one in particular there to really help me through it and be there whenever I want to talk to them. Um, I don't need Google. I have my own brain. Okay. So I hope that helps for a closing statement. Go to people for advice that you respect when you're dealing with your breakup. That would be one of the things that is very, very important. And if you don't respect them, or you find that intuitively, or you get a sour taste in your mouth when they're talking about what's going on, then you need to find someone else to talk to and explore all your options. So those are my closing thoughts for today. Thanks for the likes. People got 13 up there. We had 14. Pretty steady today. Really, really, really steady. I really enjoyed it. TC. I don't know what TC is. Take care. I'm just guessing. Like I said before in one of these live streams, it took me a while to figure out LOL. No problem, Viha. No problem. Thank you all. It's been good. It's been lovely. Cheers, Jessica. We had a strong turnout today. Happy Sunday for people that it's Sunday for them. Thank you kindly. Thanks for supporting the channel.